welcome to the August edition of the Beloit Today Show. I'm Pam Lathrop.
And I'm Beth Jacobson.
And we are here to talk about the end of the summer, I guess, along with some other things. Who are you going to interview today?
Well, first I'm going to interview Nate Tillis at the Water Resources Facility, and he's going to talk about what they do here. We haven't been out here. They try to kind of lay low out on Willowbrook, but he's going to tell us all about our wastewater and then also the hydrant flushing program that they do. A lot of people have questions about that, and it's very interesting stuff going on out here.
I know the hydrant flushing program is a long process, and it lasts until, I think, October.
Yeah, they'll do it as soon as they can. They've had some nice weather, but they also don't want to compromise the pressure, so it has to go for a long period of time, from what I understand.
Well, we always learn something during this show, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. And then I'm going to interview James Thompson with the Transit Department. James is going to be talking about school bus routes. And
Yes.
then we're going to go to Leeson's Park with Mike Ferger and talk about the emerald ash borer.
Yes, most of the people on our show today are people that haven't been on the show, so it'll be interesting to give them a little highlight some staff that we don't normally see. And after we interview, or you interview Mike, I'm going to interview Melissa Badger, who we interview every year, and she's going to talk about back to school events already. We're already talking about back to school. So Melissa is always fun to interview, and we're going to see a sneak peek of a new facility in the high school that I haven't seen since. I haven't been back there since I was in high school. So
Are you going to be okay going back to the high school?
I think I'm going to be okay. I hopefully I don't have any enemies. So
All right. So I think that about does it for the introduction to the show. Anything else we want to add?
I was just going to add, Pam, that I always ask staff how long they've been with the city, and I know that you recently had an anniversary. And so could you tell the people on the show how long you've been with the city?
Let's see if my memory stretches back that far. I think I'm starting my 19th year, so I've been here 18 years already.
So she's been here 18 years. I've been here about 18 months. So she's the expert, and I hope you enjoy our show.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here at the wastewater treatment plant with Nate Tillis. He's our operations and, what was your title?
Maintenance supervisor.
Operations and maintenance supervisor. For those of you who don't know where the wastewater treatment plant is, it's on Willowbrook, but you can also see it from the highway from I-90. So Nate, what's the address out here?
The address here is 555 Willowbrook.
And it's secure, so you can't really stop in. You have to make an appointment, and that's for reasons that Nate will get into later. So first of all, Nate, how long have you been with the city?
I've been with the city for 6 months now.
And you're a newbie.
I'm relatively new, yes.
Well, welcome. This is an extremely large facility. If you could see the shot behind us, there's a lot of acreage here, and we need that acreage for the amount of water that the city runs through and cleans. But Nate will get into that. So can you tell us generically what happens? I understand that you deal with two types of water. You deal with stormwater and then also sewage, essentially, right?
Yes. So we basically have a collection system with sewers throughout the city that brings all our sewage to this treatment plant. And here at the treatment plant, what we basically do is simulate what naturally happens in the river. So first we settle out the solids, and then the water goes on, and it's aerated, which means we blow air into it to excite all the microbes, and they eat all the bad stuff out, and we send it out to the river.
And as far as stormwater goes, water that drains off streets, that goes into the same process?
Stormwater sewers are separate, and they go directly to the river.
And they just go directly to the river. So you guys clean out all of the dirty parts of the water. We've had some talk in the city about sludge. What is sludge, and what do we do with it? How do you get it?
How would you get it?
It comes in, right?
Yeah, sludge comes in gray water, and basically what it is, it's any solids that we have within the water. And there's two treatment streams here at the plant. So we treat water one way and then solids a separate way. So our treatment of solids, towards the end, what we do is we take those solids, we settle them out, we pump them, we thicken it up, and then it goes through a process called digestion, which we basically make it inert and able to be applied on lands.
And do a lot of treatment plants apply their sludge to land, or do they filter it some other way?
Most treatment plants, in some way, their sludge gets to the land if it's in cake or liquid form.
And so we apply, I guess I heard, we apply wet sludge and then also dry sludge? Is that correct, or am I mistaken?
No, actually, we're in the process of switching. So in the past, we had only applied our liquid sludge, and now we've moved to a sludge caking process, and that's not as delicious as it sounds. But where we take the sludge and we press it into a cake, and then we attempt to apply that onto the fields or take it to a place that uses it for biogas.
And some people talk about the smell out here. Can you talk about that?
Well, it is a treatment plant, and we are taking in sewage. But in the really recent past, we've done a lot of things to control our odor. I don't know if you can see behind us, probably not. But there's we have an odor scrubber, which basically takes the discharge air off some of our smellier processes and scrubs them through a bleach solution to get the air clean. And we've also added what's called a biofilter, which takes the stinky air from other processes and sends it through the ground, so it percolates up, and basically it takes away a lot of the odor.
So we have processes in place to help
yeah.
avoid that.
Oh yeah.
And then we're standing in front of fire hydrant. And can you talk a little bit about? I understand there's a lot of pressure going on in here, and can you talk about how that works? And this is all clean water.
Yes. So our hydrants are typically clean water, fed from the same laterals that your drinking water comes in, and the hydrants are totally separate from the wastewater. So.
And then you guys flush the hydrants annually. Can you talk about why you do that? I know I see the press releases that come out, and sometimes there might be some particles in the water, but you guys certify that it's clean. Can you talk about why we flush hydrants and what the purpose is for that?
Yeah, we typically flush hydrants to make sure that their operation is okay for emergency services. And another reason we flush hydrants is to make sure that we remove all the sediment that's settled in the pipe over the years, or since the last time we flushed.
And so that's something that's important for our residents to know. So we maintain our hydrants so that we know that they're going to work in the event of an emergency.
Correct.
And I understand they're under high pressure, and so there's another thing that we don't ever want residents to release a hydrant on their own. Is that correct?
Yeah, we typically don't want anyone to come near or tamper with the hydrants because they are mostly for emergency services, and anything that we damage on them could compromise those services. So.
Now, and because we're at the wastewater and you guys try to lay low out here, and we haven't been out here very often, is there any other things you'd want our residents to know about things that they shouldn't flush? Pharmaceuticals, I know we do recycling, but all of that ends up back into our water system. So are there things that you guys deal with frequently that you think is avoidable?
For the most part, I think that the citizenry knows pretty much what they can and what they can't flush. There's been new stringent controls on mercury, so we want to make sure that any kind of thermometers or anything that you have containing mercury, don't pour those down the drain, don't flush them down the toilet or in a storm sewer, because those go straight to the river.
And what about when people mop their kitchens and then they dump it either in the tub or at the storm sewer? We don't want that either.
No, we don't want it in the storm sewer. We want it to come to us because we'll clean it. Okay. So.
Well, that's good to know. So keep that in mind, because the storm sewers go straight to the water. Well, Nate, thank you for this interview. We appreciate it. I have a million more questions for you, so we'll have to come back another time. And if residents have questions, they can just call the wastewater treatment facility.
Yes, we can call. Probably the best way to get a hold of us is engineering or public works department.
Okay, so you can call the 364-2929 number, and then they'll direct you to whoever they need to at this wastewater treatment facility. And you guys call it Water Resources now, correct?
Yes, we are Water Resources because we handle both wastewater, stormwater, and drinking water.
Okay, so it's Water Resources, okay? Thanks again.
No problem.
As you can see, we're standing on a bus. This is James Thompson. He's a transit supervisor. Hi, James.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the show today. James is going to be helping us find out some information on the transit routes for the school students for the upcoming season.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, How many buses do you run for the students?
We put out 3 trippers every day. They start at 7 in the morning, and they follow the regular routes to the middle schools, and they are usually packed to capacity.
So basically you just do middle school. Do you deliver it to the high school?
Middle school and high school, yes.
No elementary school.
No elementary school. We like for the passengers to be a little older than elementary school age.
I was talking to James before the segment started, and I asked him about monitors on the bus, and you don't have monitors, but you do have.
We do have 2 video cameras that record the routes when the buses are in motion. They're recording all the time.
And that's sort of interesting for students to be aware of, that their actions are being monitored. And I think the bus drivers have had training in how to keep order.
Yes, they have. We like for the passengers to know that the bus drivers are in charge of the buses and to follow the instructions of the bus drivers.
Now, even though you're taking students on these buses, are they still open to the public?
Yes, all our routes are open to the general public at all times. So a tripper route, if the general public wants to ride, they're more than welcome to ride.
How much does it cost a student to ride the bus?
$1.50. I'm sorry, $1.50.
Is that a special rate for a student?
The students at the middle schools and the high schools they can buy a pass, a semester pass. It's $85 for the whole semester.
Is that unlimited rides then?
Unlimited rides any day that the school is in session.
Okay, that sort of sounds like the way to go, right?
Definitely the way to go.
Where can students buy these passes?
In the office, the principals have the passes, and they sell them in the office for $85.
Do we sell those at City Hall?
Not at City Hall. We sell them also out here on Willowbrook, 1225 Willowbrook Road, which is our main office, and we sell them here also.
I imagine that people will be starting to call about those pretty soon.
Oh, they already have.
Now, this is just a trivia question. It has nothing to do with taking students to school, but how do you keep these buses clean?
Twice a year we bring them off route, and we do a full detail of all our buses. That's cleaning the seats, floors, ceilings, and walls. Windows are cleaned daily.
Do you have a bus wash?
We have a huge bus wash. On 1225 Willowbrook, we'll bring you out here and show you the bus wash anytime.
Wouldn't that be fun, just to be in the bus wash?
Yes, yes, it is.
What other kinds of pieces of advice would you like to offer our viewers?
Well, just come out and take a ride on the bus. On the hot days of summer, just jump on a city bus and see how the air conditioning would feel. And on a cold winter day, step on the city bus and feel how warm it is inside. On
a normal day, not taking students around, what time do the buses start running?
We start running at 6 in the morning. And we complete the last round at 6 o'clock. Meaning we depart from the transfer station at 5:20 in the evening.
And are the routes publicized somewhere so people can look those up?
Sure. www.beloittransit, all one word, .com, or on the city's website. There's a link to the Beloit Transit page.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else that we need to inform our viewers of about the transit system. I think it's a very important benefit to living in this city. Not every city has a great bus system.
That's correct, and with the cutbacks that they're doing, a lot of them are doing without transits.
So gas is going up, but the transit rates have been staying the same for now.
And we're at $1.25 per ride. We sell our passes down at the transfer station. You can buy tokens and passes down there. City Hall and the Treasurer's Office, you can buy passes. And out here on Willowbrook, you can buy passes.
Okay, so it's not only just a great value for students, it is a great value for people who are getting around to work or to the hospital or the clinics. Just get on the bus.
That's right.
Thank you, James. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
I'm hanging out at Leeson's Park with Mike Ferger, who is our Forestry Operations Supervisor. Thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you very much.
We picked Leeson's Park for a reason, because we want to talk about the emerald ash borer. It's not in Beloit right now, but we do have some ash trees in the park, right?
Oh, we have quite a few ash trees throughout Beloit.
Well, where is the emerald ash borer? How close is it?
The east side of Janesville.
Okay, so that's kind of why we wanted to talk about it today, just to make people aware of what they should look for in a tree, right?
Yeah, you want to look for the top of your ash tree dying out and a lot of new growth toward the base of the tree. And these signs can be confused with several other diseases and bugs, so it's very hard to detect. I look for it every day, and I haven't found it yet in Beloit. I'm kind of surprised I haven't, but as of yet I haven't found it.
Now, you mentioned that Rock County is under a quarantine.
All of Rock County is under a quarantine. People are not to move wood outside of the county. If you've got firewood, do not take it to your cabin up north. Burn it here. Do not take it outside of the Rock County. So.
Okay, now that is specifically Rock County outwards, but it's okay to bring wood from a different county. Well, not so much.
Not so much.
Okay. Okay, so we should just kind of try to stay within Rock County with our wood for now.
That is correct.
Okay. I know that there's a certain shape on a tree that the emerald ash borer makes when it drills into the tree. Can you explain that?
When the adult emerges from the tree, it makes a distinctive D shape. There'll be a small hole, very small hole, 1/8 of an inch, and it looks like the capital letter D.
Do they attack every ash tree, or are there certain ash trees that they leave alone?
The people get it confused. A mountain ash is not actually an ash tree, so they will not attack a mountain ash tree, but the rest of the ash family are fair game.
Okay, now if people have questions about emerald ash borers or any other diseases that their trees may have, you mentioned that there's a good resource that they can contact.
Yeah, we have the Rock County UW Extension Service in the Janesville Courthouse. They're a wealth of information, and they can steer you in the right direction. They also have a very nice website. So.
Yeah, I think that they have pictures on their websites of what the little critter looks like.
Oh, yeah. So they've got all the information on there for homeowners and different things you can try, treatments for your trees. If you have a certain ash tree in your yard that's a specimen and you like it, there are ways of preventive ways of treating this. So.
Okay. Now, let's talk about other stresses that we have working on our trees this season. It's really been a particularly stressful for our trees, hasn't it?
Well, it all started last winter, and even though we all liked last winter because it was nice and warm and we all wanted to know what it was like to grow up in southern Missouri, that did tax our trees because we had no snow, so we had no ground moisture. And then we had a very warm spring, that warm spell in March, and then we had a hard frost in April, which killed the buds on the trees, and they had to start over again, stressing them even more. And our total lack of ground moisture, now we've had the drought, so we're seeing a lot of dieback, and we're actually seeing some dead trees.
Now, do you think that this contributed to some of the tree loss that we had with that last major storm in July?
I don't think so, but it didn't help. So.
Did we lose a lot of trees?
We lost a lot of trees on the west side of Beloit due to the storm last week. That's all been cleaned up now. We're just finishing up some brush work. The parks, I'm just getting started on the parks. So.
Well, we really have to commend the Department of Public Works and the crews that have been working so hard to clear this. It's not an easy task.
Well, we came up with a plan right away. The storm couldn't have hit at a better time. Everybody was coming into work that morning as the storm hit, so we had all hands on deck, and we devised a plan right away, and we implemented it, and it seemed a little slow at first, but everything went really well.
That's good. Good to know. And now, if people notice that their trees seem stressed, they're dropping their leaves, what do you think about that? Will the trees come back?
I think 90% of the trees will come back. If you see a lot of leaf loss on your trees, that's just the tree reacting to the drought. Generally, it does not kill the tree,
Should we be especially watering young trees?
especially watering young trees. Trees that are 2 to 5 years old, they're not rooted enough to withstand the drought we had, and they need water. So
How much water?
I like to say you put the hose on it at a pencil stream and leave it there for 4 to 8 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, now we have some information to go with. We know our trees are not all going to die, that they're just stressed, and we know what to look for in the emerald ash borer. Anything else that you would like to add?
I'd just like to thank the people of Beloit for helping us out with our storm last week, and it was a nice community effort. It's very nice to see. So thanks.
Well, thank you, Mike, for being on the show with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Pam.
Hi, I'm here at the night spot with Melissa Badger, the communications coordinator for, I'm sorry, what was your title?
Community Relations Coordinator.
I just asked her that, for the school district of Beloit. And the night spot is what I remember as study hall. And if you can see around us and behind us, things have changed. So study hall has evolved, and the crew here today, we're thinking about hanging out here a little bit longer because it's so comfortable. There's some flat screens. There's like a little cafeteria over here, and this is in the lower level of the high school. In case you're wondering, if you're a student, you should appreciate it because I got to sit on a cafeteria table, and this is part of one of the things that students get to earn. And so Melissa's here actually to talk about all this stuff back to school, but I just wanted to preface this with the setting because it's so nice, and we don't normally get to see inside the schools. So school's starting.
Yes, school's starting already in a month, and I think kids, they might not admit it, but they're getting excited. I see everybody buying their school supplies and gearing up for the school year. I think the first thing people need to know is that school starts on Tuesday, September 4th already, and actually things are a little bit different with the first day of school. It's actually going to be a full day of school for all kids except for kindergartners. They'll still have the half a day, morning only, and then 10th through 12th graders, they'll have the afternoon only. And that's so that we can have our freshmen come in and get a chance to experience the school on their own. They'll have a few upperclassmen helping them along the way, the Link Crew volunteers. So just to get them oriented to this place.
Sure. So by the time that this show airs, school will have already started, and there's been some changes to the schedule. There's less half days. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have the school calendar posted on our website, beloitschools.net, so people can check it out, print it out, put it on their fridge. But what happened is we found that looking at our school calendar, we had some half days, some full days off, a lot, but mainly half days. And they were scheduled differently, so maybe you had your kindergartner would have a full day, but your middle school would have half off. And so what we did was consolidate those a little bit, and so the days off from school is the same for all the district kids. So parents may find that a little bit more convenient when scheduling babysitters and time off.
Sure, that's great. I'm sure that my sister will appreciate that, and my niece. And there's some other changes. What else do you have to talk about today? There's lots going on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, just some minor things such as fees. I mean, of course, our lunch fees have gone up 10 cents, but breakfast is still free for any student in the district. It's before school at any of our school buildings, and they could just come in and enjoy breakfast. Some big changes. We'll see some construction happening as part of the referendum. So in October, we'll have construction going on here at the high school, renovating the pool, and then also at Converse, Merrill, and Robinson. So we'll start to see that pretty soon.
So construction, the referendum passes in April, and you guys are ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just the first phase. So we're already going to start getting staff input on the other schools, and we should have most of the projects starting construction at least by this fall and next spring.
Well, that's very exciting. I know the school district, we meet with them occasionally, and I know they're very excited. So we're excited to see the changes, too. And for the students, if it's anything like this room, hopefully it'll look great.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out one other change is we have the Beloit Learning Academy, which is new this year. We consolidated the programs of the Brother Dutton Alternative Learning Program that was placed over there and the Eclipse Charter School. So we did is we brought those two buildings into one, and it's going to be housed at the old Wright building on Woodward Avenue. So I think the neighborhood residents over there will start seeing the school get some facelifts, and the parking lot will be redone and we'll have more green space. It'll be really beautiful. But more importantly, it's a chance for these two staffs to come together to help students. They'll be able to collaborate more. They'll save money on the rents saved and of course, the shared resources.
Well, that's great. We always like to hear about saving money and sharing resources. And then they'll be at the same school, so then you won't have so many different locations with the school district, correct?
Absolutely, and Principal Bryce Gustafson is really excited about getting things going, and the crew from the facilities services staff have been wonderful in doing the updates so far. And you'll see the logo go up pretty soon. It's a phoenix, really beautiful, and kind of symbolizes that school kind of being reborn into this new entity, and we're all excited about it.
Well, that's excited. I know there's another Phoenix project happening downtown Beloit, so there we go. We've got two things going on. So the calendar can be found on your website. And what about immunizations and physicals and things like that?
Absolutely. You can find everything on there. Most parents will have been done with their school supply shopping, but we have those online for those that might be starting or new families. You can find out what the immunization requirements are. It's a 2-page document, so you really have to scroll down to the second page, but it'll let you know by grade what students have to be compliant with school rules.
Sure. Is there anything else that we haven't covered? I feel like there's so much going on. It's easy to miss something. Sports are starting. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would just remind parents that are doing sports, those that are participating in fall sports probably have already gone through the mandatory athletic code meetings. So those looking forward to winter and spring sports that are not playing fall sports, please look out for that information because you must attend that in order to play the sports.
Well, I, recently moved back and I couldn't find any purple night stuff. So this summer I was able to pick some stuff up downtown at the store. So I'll be ready to visit some high school events now that I have my purple night stuff back.
Okay, you got to cheer on the Purple Knights at the football games and all those other sporting activities.
Exactly. Well, thank you again for showing us this wonderful place at the high school. And sometimes we're always outside, and so it's nice to see inside. It's a little reminiscent, but and thanks for the interview as always. We're excited for the school year to start, and there's a couple more weeks for the students, but by the time this shows, they'll be back in school. So
absolutely, and we look forward to seeing them all back.
I'm sure.
Hello, I'm Nikki Meyer, Executive Director of Friends of Riverfront, and obviously I'm standing right on the riverfront with the high school behind me because the summer is winding down. But we still have so many events going on that I just want to share several of the highlights that are coming up in August. On August 17th, we have Juntos Celebramos in El Riverfront, and that is the Latino Coalition Providers and Friends of Riverfront, and we have a great event. It starts at 6 o'clock. There will be a strolling band, and then at 7 o'clock is Mata Salsa, rated one of the #1 Latino bands in Madison, and they're coming down to the riverfront for the first time. So come and join us on August 17th for Juntos Celebramos in El Riverfront. Obviously, my accent is not always the best. Then, August 24th, big event. I feel so up. Oh, Up. Yeah, Up is the movie. Up is our movie on the big lawn, sponsored by First National Bank. And if you haven't seen it, it is a delightful movie. And Up will be shown. We'll have events starting at 6:30, and as soon as it gets dusk, we'll have the movie start. They bring in a big 100-foot blow-up screen. It's an event to just watch the screen unfurl and blow up. So you want to be down on the riverfront for August 24th. That's a Friday night. Just in case it rains, and of course we need the rain, but we don't want it on the night of the movie. The rain date is the next day. And then our last August event is the Jimmies in our Music and More series. And the Jimmies, that concert is also called Welcome to Our Town, where we collaborate with Beloit College, and we invite the college students who have to come back to school already and fill the town with Beloit College students and invite them down to the riverfront to hear a great band called the Jimmies. Our last event, oh, so sad, will be September 7th, and that's sponsored by Carrie Ingredients, and it's the Crown Vics, who have never been here, so we invite a new band to the riverfront. We invite you to the riverfront, and it will be an exciting weekend. And to talk about the weekend is my good friend, Deb Fredrickson, Executive Director of Visit Beloit, who is a proud sponsor of Music and More and has helped with our marketing. So here, Deb, tell us what's going on.
Well, just because the kids are back in school doesn't mean there isn't a whole lot left to do in Beloit. There's always something happening. But Heritage Days is September 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I have 3 pages of things that are going on. I mean, it's just incredible that all these things are going on. From museums, Paddle and Trail has some activities, the historic preservation, free, and Welty. But the really nice thing is that they're all free. Everything is free. So you get to actually see some of these locations and experience some of these place attractions and activities without having to pay anything, and maybe that will pique your interest. So, and the other thing that is during Heritage Days is the Festival on the Rock, which this year they've expanded it quite a bit.
Huge expansion.
There's, of course, live music. There's softball tournament, a bags tournament. There's Patch Products. They have their tent sale going on, which is always popular. You need to get there early because there's a lot of stuff, but it really goes quick. And of course, it'll have the carnival and food and the beer tent and all the things that go along with festivals.
How do they find out about all these events?
Well, what they need to do is just go to visitbeloit.com. On the front page is the calendar of events, and you can learn everything that's going on and plan your schedule for the weekend, because the 7th, 8th, and 9th is packed full day and night until midnight. So there's all those things going on. But really, one of the really incredible history-making things is the fact that there is going to be a triple ribbon cutting at the north part of for the riverfront, the north part of the riverfront, the Ken Hendricks Memorial Bridge, and also the rededication of the Veterans Plaque. So that's going to be exciting weekend. The bridge is going to be open. Yay! And of course, we always remember the farmers market. It's incredible. There's a lot of produce, and I even heard that kind of the heat has made the produce even tastier and more vibrant. So
Down there, it all tastes good.
yeah. So make sure that you come down there, and Fridays in the Park continue on too, and that's a great place to just relax for a little bit on your lunch hour. Some music, great food, all for $6. So we're not ending with the summer. We keep going on.
Because even though the summer has been hot and we've had drought, we have still continued to have all these great events. So check our websites, www.visitbeloit.com and www.friendsofriverfront.com. And the bridge dedication is Saturday
At 10 a.m.
All right, September 8th. All right, thank you very much. See you on the riverfront. Thanks, Deb.
Well, Beth, that just about wraps up our show. We just had a few things that we wanted to add. First of all, I just wanted to say, aren't we lucky that we know Melissa Badger? Because we got to see the night spot.
Yes,
This is awesome.
It's wonderful. I want to hang out. I want to come down here and hang out with the students.
I don't want to go back to school, but I would hang out under the night.
Yes, of course. And the TVs and the couches. I would be on honor roll if I meant coming down here.
Just so we could get in. And we just wanted to make one little teeny tiny correction to that interview about when school is starting.
Yeah, school starts in September. This is the August show, and so when it airs, you can still enjoy your summer for 3 more weeks. I was mistaken, and Melissa's like, "Wait, what?" But it is September 3rd that they're starting, not August 3rd. So, September 4th, I see. So, you're welcome. You get an extra couple weeks. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. But, this summer has been so hot, and we've done a couple shows outside, and we're usually, dripping, and it's sunny and not a whole lot of rain. So you remember that we installed solar panels on the City Hall roof? Well, how's that going?
We did. Well, we've had quite the weather experience. I brought a piece of paper because it's not really my forte. If we had Andy, he could explain it. But since December 12th of last year, 2011, we've generated 26.2 megawatt hours. And that equates to powering 2 stadiums, like football stadiums, for a day. Or the carbon offset has been 18.1 tons, which is, tons are 2,000 pounds. And that's the equivalent of 2 acres. So,
2 acres of trees?
2 acres of trees.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so because that's really hard to quantify, I looked at today, we as of whenever we left City Hall today, about 10 o'clock this morning, we had generated 10.5 kilowatt, not megawatts. Megawatts, the big one, kilowatts, the smaller one, hours of energy. And I looked at the averages for May, June, and July, and we actually created the most energy in May.
Well, go figure. I guess we know why that is, right?
It was pretty warm in May. So they're roughly the same, but in May we actually generated 4.64 megawatt hours. And so what's a megawatt? I don't know, but I know that it's adding up, and it's helping reduce our costs. So we've been lucky for the solar panels, although we did have a big storm in July, but we do have some good things going on too with the weather.
And you can watch the solar panel activity via the city's website.
Absolutely. There's a link on the website, and it's cool. You can, sometimes I log in at night and they'll be black, which means they're not generating energy, and then during the day they're blue. And if there's shade or if it's cloudy or something, you can kind of see it evolve. So it's actually, for me, it's really exciting. You should log in and see it. I just have it as a link on my favorite, and so I check it all the time.
I think if they just go to the city's homepage, there's a sustainability area.
There's actually a link on the homepage. There's a link that says about the solar panels.
Okay, well that's kind of fun to keep in mind. And what else did we want to bring up at the end of the show?
We always want to thank our production staff for helping us, and then also Mike Ferger touched on it a little bit, but we really want to commend the city staff, police, fire, public works, the inspectors, finance, every single department. That storm that hit in July it came on quick and fast, and we had a really condensed area of the city that was lots of closed streets, and staff really came together. We've gotten lots of compliments from residents, and we're happy that no one was injured, and the residents did a great job with knowing that if a power line's down, to stay away, and with all the trees and everything, I was impressed with staff, and so were our residents. So we want to thank our staff for working so hard. It was an extremely hot couple days and lots of tree debris, so we'd like to see positive things come together, although it was a terrible event.
Yes, absolutely. And also we want to just thank the Salvation Army and the Red Cross for keeping our staff hydrated and bringing a couple sandwiches that they brought.
Yes, in Alliant Energy, they kept us informed, and they were completely on board with us, and they helped us. They called in staff from Spring Green, Wisconsin. So they pulled, and everyone came. So I just want you to know that it comes together when there's an emergency in Beloit.
Well, thank you. That wraps up another show. We'll see you again in September, and you will be in school by the time the next show airs.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you.